Thank you for joining us today. My name is Tanya Fox, and you are listening to Fox Talks Business After Hours. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about starting a business in your 60s. So grab yourself a drink, a warm blanket, and cozy on up. It seems that it is often young entrepreneurs who make the headlines and receive most of the recognition for their accomplishments. Think of Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, Matt Mullenweg with WordPress, and Pete Cashmore with Mashable. All started in their early 20s and high up on the list of successful entrepreneurs. But the age of the founder is not the primary factor that determines whether or not a business will be successful. In fact, there is an argument that those who start their businesses later in life have a better chance of reaching success. Studies have shown if you're over 55 years old, you are twice as likely as your counterparts who are under 35 to launch a high-growth startup. Reasons to continue working after retirement vary according to the individual. Some would just like to have additional income, some don't have enough to retire comfortably, and others just aren't fans of the typical retiree activities, feeling bored with them while also feeling like they still have a lot more to contribute to the business world. Psychologists say work and activity help seniors stay healthy, both mentally and physically. And according to research by the Kauffman Foundation, the percentage of new entrepreneurs aged 55 to 64 increased from 15% in 1996 to almost 26% in 2014. And the number of senior business startups continues to grow even today. Our guest today is one of these go-getters. At 66 years old, her passion for entrepreneurship and creating healing partnerships continues to grow and evolve. Not ready to hang up her shoes to bake cookies and rock in a chair to just knit all day. Suzanne Page started doing therapies in 1998, even though her passion for healthcare started as a child. In 2000, she became certified with the Reflexology Association of Canada, and today she holds many designations, including Registered Canadian Reflexology Therapist, a member of the Craniosacral Reflexology Institute in London, England, and a Canadian Reiki practitioner. She is also the proud owner of Why Not Therapies, located in Smith Falls, Ontario, and is an internationally sought-after therapist. Thank you so much for joining us today, Suzanne.
Well, thank you. It's my absolute pleasure to be here.
So I wanted to go back a little bit because you have quite an interesting path of how you got to where you are today. So tell us a little bit about your careers before retirement, your first retirement, I guess.
Well, my first real job was as a receptionist in a pediatrician's office.
So is that where your passion for the medical industry started from?
Yes, I think it always had been with me, and but I did aspire to become a doctor. So that was a very important process for me, and it didn't quite turn out that way, though. Medical school was so very expensive, and
so what were the options for you at that time?
Well, what I saw as a very good option was going through the military. In order to be able to get a good education.
Oh, okay. And so is that sort of the path you took then, is going through the military for medical school?
Well, not quite. No, I did not. There were some glitches in it all.
Oh.
And the military has certain rules, of course, and guidelines. And one of it was I was in love and was about to be married. And when I went through all of the tests and interviews for admission to this particular education program in the military, it came to their attention that I was seeing an enlisted man. And in those days, a woman could not outrank her husband. Those were the rules.
Wait, so if you were married or planning on getting married and in the military, if your husband or fiance didn't have aspirations for greatness, you kind of got stuck behind him then, I guess, which is a foreign concept, I think, or a somewhat foreign concept today for a lot of women.
Yeah, well, I certainly was devastated, and about to the fact that I had to consider that. Uh, and but those rules are rules.
Rules are rules. So what did you choose? Did you choose your medical career or did you choose love?
I chose love. I
Aw.
got married. In hindsight, I probably would not have been a great fit into the medical system as it was then.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, they do say everything happens for a reason. So you chose love, and I take it you got married, and then where did your career path take you from there?
Then we were, well, my husband was already transferred to Germany. So I followed him there a few short days after the wedding. And I really think my family thought I had lost my mind. But when you're young and the whole world opens up in front of you, right?
Yeah. Well, you have a little less fear.
Yeah, that's right. And after all, life is about choices, isn't it? And to me, it was a wonderful choice, and we had some incredible adventures, and 2 years of great experience and memories to cherish forever.
And then, so did you stay there after the 2 years, or what happened after that?
Now we returned to Canada, and at which time I started to work for Bell Canada as a long distance switchboard operator and floor supervisor, and later in the training center.
So what was that job like? Like a switchboard operator? Like I'm trying to think, like switchboard, like I can only think of a comedy skit of Lily Tomlin. She's at the switchboard. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. But was it like that pegboard where you're actually like pulling the pegs out and pushing them in?
Yes, it was a cord board.
A cord board.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
and it was fun.
That sounds so interesting. Oh, okay. So, and so you did that. So that around what time was that you were doing that job?
That was in the early 70s.
Oh, okay.
I was it was in Ottawa, and then later I transferred to Edmonton, and went with Alberta Government Telephones as a mobile telephone operator.
So that would have been around when mobile was kind of first out or first getting popular, I guess.
Yes, well, maybe I'm dating myself.
Well, put it this way: did the cell phones look like giant boxes about the size of a car battery?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the mobile phones were instrumental in providing proper communication between companies and their employees, and they were about the size. You're correct, about the size of a car battery. And I remember the challenges the truckers had crossing the lakes and rivers in the winters, and as well as rugged country, and in order to bring much needed supplies up north. And so the companies would often would rely on the switchboard for communication. You know that there were huge maps of the areas up north on the walls, and as operators, we would refer to those if a rig had gone astray or off the road or gone off track. And boy, lots of stories. Most of them were very good endings, I must say.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So it's weird to think now that that was at that time, that was the only communication they had, was that switchboard operator to help them. And these days now they travel with film crews. There's that show called Ice Road Truckers, so they have lots of help now. But yeah, how far we've come, eh? That's so interesting. So,
For sure.
so was the switchboard sort of where you stayed with Bell Canada, or did you have another job after that?
Well, then, it was about the time that I started various courses in complementary therapies and really also focused in that area. But I went on to a position in the federal government, mostly in pensions, where I remained till I took an early retirement.
Oh, okay. And so how old were you when you retired the first time?
44 years old.
That's awfully young. Most people are, I'm sure, are sitting there going, "Oh God, I want to retire at 44." But that seems like an awfully young retirement. So when you decided that you were going to retire, then what sort of was your vision? What did you think that retirement was going to look like, or what did it look like, I guess?
Yeah. Well, my life was still in full swing. So many things to do and different choices, new opportunities, and if you just need to grab them and run with it, helps you grow. After all, we are the sum of our experiences, aren't we?
Very
Uh,
true.
and we did take an opportunity. We went sailing.
Like on a boat? What else are you
Yes,
going to
on a
sail on, right?
sailboat. Yes, Tony and I took a leap of faith and followed our hearts and sailed to the Caribbean.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now everyone's like, okay, that's the retirement I want. So, like, how big was this boat? Like, are we talking boat? Or are
Oh,
we talking yacht?
oh no, we're talking boat. Well, it was our little yacht. Oh, it was only 35 feet.
Oh my gosh. And so did you live on it full time then on the boat?
Pretty well. I mean, we came between Canada and the Caribbean. We left the boat there, and so it was always a dream to sail, live aboard, and all the while study the meaning of life.
Wow. Well, that's a beautiful place to study the meaning of life, I have to say. So how
It
long? Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say it certainly didn't happen overnight. It was a couple of years in the planning, but eventually we disconnected from the busyness of life and simplified our lives, and we were like two kids with the world in the palm of our hands,
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
and neither one of us knew how to swim to boot.
Well, they do say that captains always go down with the ship. So, but it seems to me that would probably make it on my list, right? Like make sure you have clothes, make sure the boat can float, make sure I can float.
Well, we did learn how to swim, and actually, we both got our diving tickets. So, now, if you think, and speaking of diving, if you think land is fabulous, the beauty that exists underwater is phenomenal.
Oh, I
It's
can only
incredible.
imagine seeing all those crystal blue waters. And so how long did you sail for?
We sailed for approximately 19 years.
Oh, he must have so many amazing stories. So, was that it? Like that you just kind of retired then, or were you still kind of sort of working, or were you just learning? Just
Well, while aboard, I really delved more into complementary therapies, and I did many studies, mostly in Canada, but also in the U.S. and Puerto Rico, and as well as in Europe. And my choices of reading material was always medical books, journals, and complementary therapies, and the like. I even remember that my coloring books were that of anatomy and physiology.
So your passion for the medical industry never died then, because that wouldn't be my
Never.
first grab. Ooh, I'm gonna color the distal bicep tendon today.
Uh,
So what made you to decide to start your own business?
well, I think basically it was a need to share with others the wealth of information that was passed on to me. The need to make a difference, no matter how big or small.
Right. And so do you have many entrepreneurs in your family growing up?
No, no, not at all. Actually, it- no. I have to say, growing up, no, it changed later on in my life, but not at that time.
So looking back, so you came back to Canada then, I guess, and started your own business. What made you decide to come back? To give up retirement to start a business?
That's a that's a bit complicated.
It always is.
But good. It was that need to put everything, bring everything together, um, and follow the dream of helping people. Follow that dream of uh, being able to share and so I always wanted to open up a clinic. Always did.
So it was kind of a dream that you had that you just decided to make come true,
Yes.
as as what most businesses are, right?
Yes, and that there's so many things, and what I found is that the world itself is your classroom. There's so much to learn out there. It's not all out of a book. It's about people, and so that was instrumental in bringing it to fruition.
Okay. So what timeline was it? When did you open your therapy clinic?
In 2014.
Okay, so it's been a
Yeah.
couple of years now. So looking back at when you were getting ready to open and sort of in that process of getting it ready, um, was it a surprise to you how much time and effort it actually took to open a business?
Oh, yes. It was a surprise, I think, is an understatement. It really is. I mean, uh, looking back and recognizing the complexities of it, it was amazing. Now, mind you, I had a lot of help, and I must say, my daughter was my saving grace. She's so well versed in the complexities of business management, and and she played an instrumental role in guiding me through the loops and hoops and setting me on the right track.
So are you said you had two kids. So are both of your kids entrepreneurs or just one?
The entrepreneurs is one.
One?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both in business. However, one being as self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your most unexpected obstacle when you were starting your business?
Well, I think that the realization that um, it's it's not that easy.
Nope.
It's it's complicated. Um, it's things like finding the right place and renovations and the necessary steps to get everything in place, the administration, getting all your ducks in a row.
It's like that saying that says, I don't have ducks, I have squirrels, and they're mad and running all over the place. Like,
Oh, I that's a very good analogy.
it's not
I
mine.
think I'll take
I'm sure I saw it on a post somewhere. So what's been your favorite thing about owning your own business?
meeting people, uh, being my own boss, in charge of my own schedule.
And what's been your biggest passion in these last few years in your business?
Doing what I love to do, helping people, being at the feet of my clients and always learning and sharing and the joy of hearing my clients say that the pain has lessened or they're sleeping better or they're more relaxed and that they're feeling better and that they are on their road to recovery. It's such a joy to hear.
It must be amazing to be able to sort of watch that journey of someone who comes in and, has, you know, very limited mobility or even health issues, and then to see the progression is always something that kind of amazes me with therapies.
And so rewarding, so rewarding.
Oh, I bet. And such a continuous learning experience too for you, which you love to learn. So, and that's my thing too. I'm such an avid learner. I love just reading new stuff, but you get case studies every day that you kind of get to research.
Yes, and that's a very interesting part of my job, and I just love it.
Just keeps that passion flame alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So these days, social media is such a big business tool. And I imagine that living on the boat, you weren't really probably attached to social media as much as people are these days. So how have you adjusted to using that business tool? Or are you somebody who always kind of used Facebook and other social media avenues?
Well, I'll say no. but slowly but surely, I'm getting there. There is a challenge and quite a learning curve for me. I must say, more training is required. I keep plugging away at it though, and one day at a time, and a lot of help from family and friends.
I'm with you there. I actually have a social media person that I use myself. So I get advice from the experts sometimes because I need it. And it changes so much, right? It's one of those things that's always adjusting. So what advice would you give to someone in their 60s if they're thinking of starting a new business?
Hmm. Take it a step at a time. I mean, use the resources available. There are lots of them out there. You can just Google it.
I guess that is a little bit different, right? I remember being a kid, and when we wanted to know something, we were lucky. We were one of the fortunate kids that had the Encyclopedia Britannica that we could look into. But yeah, I remember you just had to keep walking around asking people, do you know what?
And yes. Well, now there you go. It is at your fingertips, right?
There, I'm dating myself too. So,
So I think another is not to be afraid to ask for help. After all, there's just no need to make all the mistakes yourself. It's about learning from others. It sure is easier that way.
oh, I love that. I might have to steal that from you. I like that. So,
Oh,
so tell us a little bit about what is reflexology?
well, reflexology is it's a non-invasive therapy, and it's using pressure points, reflex points, and by applying pressure on those reflexes, It serves to relax and de-stress. It improves blood and nerve supply to all areas of the body, and it stimulates the lymphatic system, which boosts the immune system, improves circulation, and promotes natural function of the body. It's it's all encompassing, and the beauty of it all is that reflexology is for everyone, any age. And everyone can benefit from a session.
Oh, okay. So what is the difference then between just getting a foot massage and having a reflexology session?
Well, reflexology requires an understanding of reflex points and related anatomy. And reflexology actually promotes a response in an area away from the stimulated reflex points, compared to a foot massage, where it affects the area locally, a response to muscle and connective tissue only.
Oh, okay. Um, Now, although I'm sure some people wish that they lived closer to you, but all our listeners can't come and see you. So, what are some of the things that you can help them out with when they're looking for a reflexology therapist in their area? What are some of the things that they should be paying attention to?
Well, I think that they should start their search through a recognized organization. And mine, and in my opinion, the best of them all is the Reflexology Association of Canada, also known as RAC.
Okay.
The therapists listed on their website are professional members in good standing who must adhere to specific standards of care, and our CRT members must also meet ongoing continued education criteria in order to remain certified.
Oh, okay. So this isn't something that you just get and you keep it. You have to always be, learning new things and being upgraded on your education because I'm imagining new stuff and discoveries come out all the time. No different than in any other medical field.
Absolutely. It is imperative that people um, stay or have a continued education. That is one of the strict criterias of the
Oh,
association. And you must also be insured,
oh,
you know.
okay. So people can just go on the RAC site and then they can find one of these certified therapists in their area.
Yes, it will actually guide you to find a reflexology therapist in your area. And
Okay.
you just click on there and then you just put the province and so on. Mhm.
Oh, wonderful. So now, not everybody can find a reflexologist. I'm out. I know you're in Ontario, in Smith Falls, Ontario, and I'm out in Alberta. So we do have a lot of outlying areas out here, which I know Ontario is big too. But what are some of the tips that we can use at home to help our feet stay healthy? So I know a lot of women um, walk in high heels all day, and that causes a lot of issues. And I know my husband is in steel toe boots. And that is something to be reckoned with when he takes those off. So, what are some of the tips you can give people to keep their feet healthy at home?
But primarily is to invest in a good quality footwear. Um, if the shoe fits, wear it. Your feet deserve the best. After all, they carry you through life. Make it a comfortable journey, right?
Love that.
And their foot baths. The foot baths are great. You add some Epsom salts to it, a quarter to half a cup of Epsom salts, and soak for 20 to 30 minutes. It's especially good after a long and tiring day. It really helps the whole body relax. But make sure that you dry your feet well, especially between the toes.
Ah,
People skip that, and that's really important. And if your feet hurt, they're trying to tell you something. It's time to pay attention. And remember, your whole body is reflected in your feet. You have over 7,200 nerve endings in each foot. Now, talk
wow.
about communication.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
time for
lot of
us to
pegboards
listen.
moving around down there.
And probably the most important is make it a point to visit your reflexology therapists on a monthly basis. It's an investment in your overall well-being, and very well worth it.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, what do the Epsom salts do? I mean, I put them in my bath all the time, but just because I'm
Uh,
told to.
well, Epsom salts actually helps draw out toxins,
Okay.
and it helps relax the tissue. And but the one of the primary things is drawing out any toxins. So
Oh, okay.
uh,
So it's a good
yes,
thing to have, especially when you're, sweating in your, work boots and stuff like that all day.
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
wonderful. So, one thing that always fascinates me is company names. Not so much the name, but how it came to be. And so, your company name is called Why Not Therapies. And I'm just wondering, how did you choose that name? What's the reasoning behind your company name?
Oh, what a sweet question. Uh, Why Not Therapies was chosen very carefully, and it's in memory of my late husband. Tony was instrumental in bringing me to this point in my life, and of opening a clinic. And uh, it is his given name spelled backwards. Tony, why not? And thank you so much for asking. That just holds me to my heart.
So every time you see it, you think of them. That is so sweet. See, there's always amazing reasons why people have that. And I just, how amazing is that the two just fit together. I just love it. I love that story. Well, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy day to speak with us. I know you have to head out because you have clients coming in and you need to have lives you need to change. But if people wanted to reach you, how could they go about doing that?
Well, they can email us at whynottherapies@gmail.com, or give us a call at 613-205-1512, or find us on Facebook at Why Not Therapies.
Oh, that's awesome. It was such an honor to learn more from you today. And I have so many more questions about your life when you were out on the boat. I just imagine that there's so many amazing stories. So I'll have to have you back again on on the show because I'm sure that
Oh,
you're just such a wealth of knowledge.
thank you.
So don't forget to hit subscribe just before you leave here, so that you can hear all of our upcoming episodes and be the first to know about them. And then head over to our Facebook page where we will have a link to Suzanne's page for Why Not Therapy. So you can just quickly click and like her page and be able to learn more information on reflexology. So I know you had just a few other things that you wanted to leave us with just before we go, Suzanne.
Yes, actually, first, remember you are never too old to start a business. And second, your feet take you through life. So treat them well and remain on your pathway to health.
Oh, I love that. And that is Why Not Therapy's tagline. Why Not Therapies? Your pathway to health. So if you're thinking of starting your own business and we on our website, on our blog post, we have two sheets for you. We have a quick tips and a new business startup checklist that we've created for you guys. So just visit our website at foxtalksbusiness.ca, click the link on our blog post, and you'll get your download right away. This is Tanya Fox. Thank you for listening to Fox Talks Business. And I'm reminding you to have fun, because if you aren't having fun, why are you doing it?